or for hell. I'm yelling no more talking, unless it's the truth. You in that bullshit walking. When I'm in
Yes. Welcome back to another edition of EDI Means Talking My Truth. Appreciate y'all pulling up, man. I got a special story I want to share with y'all. This is an old school one, man. This is back in 1990, man. And let me start off by saying the reason why I share some of these stories with y'all, especially the personal ones, because it's like therapy for me personally. So for those of you, and it's only a few of y'all, that do not appreciate what I'm sharing, look at it as a way for me to I guess leech off of Tupac's legacy. This is therapy for me, so it really doesn't matter how you feel or what you think about what I'm doing. I'm gonna continue to do this so long as I want to do it, and I do it for those who appreciate it. Now, having that said that, I want to get right into it, man. Let me take you back to the year 1990, man. I think I was about 15, 16 years old. Kastro was about 14, between 13, 14, and Yacht was 12, 13 years old. Kadafi. Needless to say, we were very young. So was Tupac. Tupac was on tour at the time with Digital Underground. We all know he was a backup dancer at the time. He was on tour. We were spending the summer in Minnesota. I used to live in Minnesota at the time. This is where I was living at. And Kadafi and Kastro came to spend the summer out there with us. Tupac knew we were all together in Minnesota and, called one day like, yeah, I got a show coming up in Milwaukee, which is not too far from Minnesota. It's about a maybe 8 to 10 hour drive, I believe, to Milwaukee. And he was like, y'all should come down to the show. We didn't have a way to get there. Obviously, we all, we're kids and we're not driving. So we had to figure out a way to get there. I go and I ask my aunt Helena, my favorite aunt, who I love dearly, listen, Pac's got a show in Milwaukee. He said, if we can get there, we can go to the show. And, at the time, I'm the only one that's rapping, kind of taking it seriously, just getting into really maybe looking at it as a career. Kadafi and Kastro really weren't looking at being rappers at the time. So we convinced my aunt to drive us to Milwaukee. And when we get to Milwaukee, as soon as we get to the hotel where they're staying at, we immediately start seeing all of these people, all of these entertainers, all of these rappers that we had just got finished watching their videos on BET and groups like Public Enemy and Kid and Play and, Queen Latifah and, the list goes on and on. It was one of those tours that had multiple artists on it, and it was a huge tour. Public Enemy was the headliners. And so immediately see Flavor Flav coming in off the tour bus with his kids and, Chuck D and like I said, Kid Play and all of these different entertainers, man. And we're like, wow, this is incredible. You know what I mean? And I remember Chuck D asking us what books were we reading and Flavor Flav literally saying, yeah, boy, when he seen Pac. And it was just like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is dope. You know what I'm saying? And seeing how people already responded to Pac and already knew Pac and actually, respected him was amazing for us as his little cousins and little brothers and things of that nature. So we're looking at him like, wow, you really out here doing it. Long story short, fast forward, go to the concert. It's an amazing concert. Like, I can't express to you enough how big Public Enemy was at the time. And
in order to fight the powers that be, fight the power.
How dope their show was, and props to Flavor Flav, who literally invented the hype man, and is the greatest hype man to this day. And Chuck D's voice booming all over the arena. It was just an incredible night. And going backstage and meeting Martin Lawrence, who was there for the first time, but Martin wasn't Martin at the time, you know what I mean? And seeing Kid play and just seeing how the rap life, the hip hop life was. Show's over. Head back. It's time to head back to the hotel. Pac told us to wait, by the backstage for him, and once he got done doing what he was doing, we was gonna head back to the hotel. So we waiting, and we can't find Pac, and we're asking people where Tupac is, and some people don't even know who we're talking about, and other people like, yo, he left already. We like, yo, hold up, this motherfucker, did he leave us? Absolutely, he had left us. And so like now we're like, where the fuck do we go? You know what I mean? My aunt and her husband, who drove us to Milwaukee, went to see some of his family that lived out there. So we don't have a ride. We don't have a way back to the hotel. What else can we do? We start walking. We're walking. We're asking people where the hotel is at that they were staying at. And, people started pointing us in the right direction, because this is the early 90s. There is no phone that you can just tap into and it'll guide you to where you go. You have to ask people. You have to make lefts and rights and figure it out. And so, like I said, I was the oldest at the time. I'm 15, 16 years old. We're just kids walking down the street. Never been to Milwaukee before. Long story short, we find the hotel. But when we get to the hotel, it's pandemonium. It's groupies everywhere, and it's fans and people all over the place. And so hotel security is not letting anybody in. We're going to hotel security like, yeah, but our cousin is staying up there. His name is Tupac. And they like, we heard that before. Beat it, kid. We're not getting up in here. So we're like, damn, we can't even get into the hotel. There is no cell phone to call Pac and say, yo, Pac, we out here and we can't get in the hotel. Luckily for us, who do we see sitting, a few feet away from the entrance of the hotel? Money B. Always love Money B for this. Money B looked at us. We like, yo, you can't get in. Money B is like, 1 second, hold up. He goes to security. Security lets us in because Money B said, yo, they belong here. So we get into the hotel. We like, yo, man, Pac left us at the show. We like, man, Pac is upstairs in his room. Pac was upstairs, you know what I mean? Getting a little bit of that groupie love. So, we ended up going into somebody's room. I think it was Shock G's room. Shock G was chilling up in there, full rock star mode, girls all around, a little bit of ganja smoke in the air, you know what I mean? And Pac come in like nothing ever happened. Like, oh, y'all made it back. What's up? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, let me introduce y'all to my little cousins. This is whoop, 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 whoop. They're going to be rappers and whoop, whoop, whoop. And this is before the Outlaws. This is before Dramacidal. This is before all of that. For the Thoroughheads, before all of that. We are literally kids, man. And we still loved it, man. We still had an amazing time. And I knew that night, this is what I wanted to do. I loved everything about it, man. You know what I'm saying? The show, the business of it, the camaraderie amongst the groups. It was just a beautiful experience that just fully entrenched us into the world that we would soon be in a very few short years later, man. And it's a time that I'll never forget. Absolutely. Props to my aunt for driving us to Milwaukee, man. Of course, like I said, man, Pac was super young. 19 years old. We didn't take it personally. You know, we just was happy to be there. E.D.I. Mean, another edition of Talk My Truth. I'm gone.
Let's get it. Sick of the lies. Let me talk my truth. You just want the facts. I'ma talk my truth. We got that real to real. Let me talk my truth.